So, Bob, better bounce in the step the last day or two from you and from the players after getting a road win?
No, I still limp. They were good. They were good yesterday, and I would assume they would be good today.
You're going to need them to be good tomorrow.
Need to be real good tomorrow.
What jumps out at you when you watch them?
Oh, their athleticism. They had great athleticism, and they've got a great post player. He gave us fits when he was a freshman.
7 blocks in the Texas A&M game. They had 10 altogether.
They're athletic. They're really athletic.
And they lost their 2 bigs first round of the NBA draft last year, so they're replacing them.
But they probably got the best big out of the portal. He's good. I mean, we struggled with him, and I mean, Derek kind of at the end, did a really good job on him. But when he was at Moorhead, he was really good.
Face a shot blocker. Do you have to talk to you guys about it? Hey, listen, you're going to get shots blocked. Just keep, doing what you do. Don't be deterred by it.
Go right at their chest. The worst thing you can do is try to fade away. Go at them.
Do you like these challenge games, and do you like them this late into the season?
I don't think it matters. We've had success with them, and then there's been ones that we've struggled with. But I think it's kind of a refresher a little bit for our guys. Instead of playing in league play, constantly playing in league play, I think this is good, particularly when you get to play at home.
This is going to sound odd, but in terms of the net rankings, this is a break for you. They're 30, then you got 13 coming up, and then 8, and then 9 in the next 4 games.
It's what happens when you play in this league. I mean, it's a hard league. But they have historically been extremely athletic. I think did we play them in Birmingham once?
Yes.
I think we played, but Bruce wasn't there. That was before Bruce. So since Bruce has been there, they've been very, very athletic.
In these challenges, you haven't really caught a break. I mean, you look at the teams that you played in the SEC through the history of this. There have been a lot of tough draws when you think about it.
Have we got a break since we've been in the league?
I can't speak to that.
Well, yeah, you could. Probably better you than I. But no, we've played, I think, a really hard league schedule. But I think everybody does. It's a hard league, and we've played non-conference. We've played some really hard teams, but you're supposed to. That's part of it.
Explain to me. They have more teams in their league than the Big 12.
14.
So they get to take 4 of their weakest teams and not put them in this challenge, so they can slot them up and match them up a little bit more than what you guys can do in the Big 12.
100% correct.
So consequently, the 4 bottom teams are not going to be in this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the way they do it.
Based on some performances from the other night, do some of the reserves get more playing time? Seth and Conquo and things like that. How do you view their performance?
I've been trying to get Seth, without a question, has earned playing time. But he has. That's just not the last game. He's played well in the prior games. I've been trying to get James to step up a little bit more. James is such a good guy, and that he kind of steps back and let other people, take some minutes that probably he deserves. he's our most athletic big. He's probably our most talented when it comes just to overall athletic talent. He can run, he can jump, he can move his feet. He's a quick jumper. He just needs to do it on a consistent basis, and I mean, he's going to be in the lineup. I mean, I think a combination of, and he can shoot the ball. You know, he just doesn't. But I mean, you saw, I think the other day, he goes to the free throw line, and it was a really good looking shot. And you know, there are times you think if we could play him and Jimmy together, we could be able to do some things against probably a multitude of people. They probably wouldn't have two bigs to cover both of those guys at the same time, but you know, he hasn't risen to that until the last game.
Practice those two together at all? I mean, is that a possibility moving forward?
I think we will. There wasn't any reason to before.
Coach, this is from what I understand, the last year of the SEC challenge.
I don't know.
I think they're moving with the ACC next year. So does the Big 12 need to fill a challenge, come up with another challenge series, or the strength of the league, does it require another challenge series moving forward? Because obviously you still got the one with the Big East.
I don't know why we would need one. The numbers tell you it is far and away the hardest league, and what all the people who come up with the numbers continue to say that you could pretty much fill the top 5 spots with all Big 12 teams, and conceivably more than that. So I mean, when you're in a league that's good, and I think everybody has said that. I think other people ought to worry about playing against people in our league, not vice versa.
So Big 12, Pac-12, Big 12, I don't know what else would be out there. Big 10, maybe? I mean, doesn't sound like there'd be some interest in that.
I don't know. I haven't been involved in those conversations. That's probably more up Ren's alley than it is mine.
Where it's placed, though, I would imagine the coaches would be like, if we're going to do this, let's don't do it in the middle of conference season at the end of January. I mean, if this game wasn't in there, you'd have 6 days to prepare for TCU.
And we need all 6. I mean, that's we don't really, we're not involved in that, and haven't been since I've been in the league. We have our coaches meeting with the commissioner, and Curtis is there, but sometimes something like that's discussed, but it never goes very far.
I mean, it's a great day for TV. I mean, you're going to have 10 games on ESPN. So that part of it, exposure, there's value there.
Well, I guess the trade-off is the conference makes a lot of money from it and passes it down to the schools, and television makes more money from it and keeps it.
Football has a bye week. Would you like a bye week?
I don't know if we need a week. We need more than 2 days.
I feel like a bye Saturday, an open weekend.
Well, I mean, Mike, look at what we've just gone through. I mean, we play, and then, generally you take the next day off. We have to practice the next day, and then we have a light practice the next day, then we play again, and then we have another day where you hardly can't practice, and then you practice the next day, and then you play again. I mean, I think it's gotten a little too jammed up.
You got 2 breaks coming. Well, a little bit. Between Baylor and Texas Tech, 5 days, and Oklahoma State and Kansas, 5 days. Other than that, they're all jammed together.
Yeah. Seemingly, you could space those a little better.
You know, kind of going off that, you said after Texas Tech, you guys are a little bit banged up. I know Keith's had that ankle. Are you expecting everybody to be available tomorrow?
I don't know. I'll know that after practice today. I know Keaty's banged up pretty good. James banged up some, but I think James will be fine. But Keaty's banged up pretty good.
Yeah, Mike, still dealing with the leg,
Ankle.
Does that bother him a lot, do you think?
He couldn't go yesterday.
Coach, going off, I mean, when you look at the metrics and what you were saying about the Big 12, I mean, what the numbers say, it's hard to argue about the Big 12's overall strength. But hypothetically, if the SEC comes in and wins the challenge again, I think it'll be the third year in a row. Doesn't that kind of throw some sort of monkey wrench in?
I don't think so.
Why not?
Because let them go through what we go through. Let them go through what we go through on a year-by-year basis. We're playing the best teams in the country year by year. I mean, you can say what you want about any other league. There's not a Kansas in any other league that's done what Kansas has done. And you go back and look at the strength of what our people do in the NCAA tournament, strength of what our people do out of conference. No, it's not close. Let them do it. Let them try. I've coached in those leagues, and I've coached against those guys. It's not the same.
So this series is a one-day glimpse, I guess, is kind of what you're saying, as opposed to what they do on a day-to-day.
There's a lot of things, Justin. I mean, if Keaty can't go, that's a huge blow for us. Huge. And that happens. That happens frequently, particularly in this league. The other people don't travel the way we travel. Well, do what we do sometime. You know, get back here at 6 in the morning.
I guess I'm speaking conference as a whole, as opposed to just.
No, it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. There are going to be more people in our situation.
Right.
Now it's primarily us. But there's going to be more in our situation. There are going to be more people getting back at 6 o'clock in the morning. You know, and everybody's going to talk about academics. If they really cared about academics, they'd get us back a hell of a lot sooner than 6.
When you have a league next year, however many teams are there, 12 or 14, right? You've seen conferences go toward 20 conference games, and if you drop an invitational, the SEC, maybe you go toward 20. You're not exactly adding easy teams. Would that be too much, or is 18 about right, even though there's no round robin?
If I had an opinion, Mike, they wouldn't listen to it anyways. So why would I waste my time?
No.
Why would I waste my time worrying about it when I know they're not going to listen anyways? You know, you go in those. I've been in those meetings, man. You go in those meetings, and they act like they listen, but they really don't. They just move on and do what they're going to do anyway. They already know what they're going to do.
Well, different turn. Fish fry tonight. I know it's been near and dear to your heart for a long time. Just what's it meant to you? What's tonight going to mean to you?
Oh, I just got back from I walked in there. It was like it blew my mind. The number of tables, the number of seats that are there, the people that are going to be there. I mean, we're talking 2,600 people, something like that. It's amazing how it's kind of taken off and become what it's become. But it also tells you a lot about, I think, the people in this state and how much they believe in what we're doing. And I think to build a cancer hospital here in our state would be one of the greatest things that could ever happen in this state. I mean, every day we get something in our office, that so-and-so, has just been diagnosed with cancer or been diagnosed with terminal cancer, and it's heart-wrenching, and to be in somebody who sat at my mother's bedside as she died of cancer is, it hits you pretty hard. And I thought then, if there's anything that we could ever do, so that that wouldn't happen to other people, and I guess I don't even know if I'm supposed to say it, but I have seen the renderings of what's being proposed, and it's fabulous, and to have that here in Morgantown, to have that here in our state would be, I think, one of the great things that's ever happened in this state. And there's certainly a whole lot of people who deserve a lot of credit for trying to push this thing forward. As we all know, there's a whole lot of roadblocks, and people have been just absolutely wonderful, and virtually everyone that I've gone to, everyone that I've talked to, what Little General's done, what Greg Darby's done, is absolutely phenomenal. And we just gotta keep fighting the fight. We gotta keep fighting the fight, and sooner or later we'll get to that magic number where we can start construction and hopefully soon have one of the premier cancer centers staffed by some of the premier doctors in the world here, which I think is something that everybody would be excited about, because it's gonna hit all of us in some form or fashion. Be it a mother, a father, a grandfather, an uncle, an aunt, a cousin. It's gonna hit everybody, and it hits you hard. And having a place here that they don't have to go to the Mayo Clinic. They don't have to drive all the way to Cleveland. It's a hell of a long drive from southern West Virginia to Cleveland. If y'all haven't done it, that's a long drive. And to be able to do it here and feel comfortable, in your home state is, I think, is a wonderful thing.
How much have you raised total?
I don't know. I haven't checked lately. It continues to come in. I mean, with what's going on at the fish fry, now I think we raised $2.6 million last year at the fish fry, and I would anticipate we would be well over $2 million this year. And you think that's never ever been done. It's never ever been done. There's never
you're
been
do $2 million tonight.
Somewhere right around there or more. Somewhere between I would think $2 million and $2.5 million, somewhere in there.
And what's the event over the life of the event? You have an idea how much it's raised?
Well, we raised 2.6 last year. If we raise 2.5 this year, that puts us over $5 million just with that. So we've raised, I would think, somewhere in the neighborhood of $20 million, $25 million, somewhere in there.
How many years have you done it roughly?
The fish fry?
Yeah.
I don't know.
10?
We started down at the waterfront, and with Randy Moss. Randy was our first guy. Randy was kind enough to come in, and then I decided that, being the brainiac that I am, magna cum laude, I decided we'd have bring some coaches in. So I bring 12 guys in and have a roast, and Then about 3 weeks, a month after that, I find out that those 12 guys that I invited there invite me back to their place. So I'm doing 12 and they're doing 1. It's just bad numbers. It doesn't work, yeah. That doesn't work. So I've got to go to 12 times. And I'm thinking, man, this ain't going to work like this. So that's when I decided we'd do it the way we're doing it now.
Hard to get Barkley. Was that a...
No, not at all. Not at all. I was walking down the stairs. We were at the induction, and I'm walking down the stairs. He's walking up the stairs, and there was a little platform. And I said, Charles, I need to talk to you about something. He said, what's up? I said, I need you to come to fish fry for me. He said, what? I said, a fish fry. And I told him what it was for, cancer and my mother. And he said, yeah, just call me, let me know. And so I called, and he said, yeah, sure.
Did you even know you were going to play Auburn, his alma mater?
Well, I told him that later, yeah. I told him that later. I said, you can stay all night, and we'll fly you back after the game.
So he's hanging around for the game.
He's going to be at the game, yeah. He's a great guy. I mean, he really is. I got to spend a lot of time with him. Nike used to take everybody on vacation, basically. They take you and your wife on vacation, whatever. So played golf with Charles, and we all hung around together, and so I get to know Charles and Michael and everybody associated with Nike.
Did he do the Jordan camps with you too, or Barkley?
I didn't really do Jordan camps.
Okay, he did. Okay.
I was with Michael a lot. In Vegas, with the stuff that we did in Vegas, which was Nike related, and then the Nike trips. So.
Barkley, the worst golfer you've played with?
Well, let me just put it this way. I was there when he threw his clubs into the pond. Right off 18.
Coach, thank you.
Yes, sir.